Hello there, internet dwellers. Welcome back to another video. Today we are reacting to more Manticore videos. There are two more episodes of the American alternative folklore series that we've been watching, and you guys seem to really enjoy the first one, so I thought we'd continue with the second one here. We got two new videos. So if you guys remember this whole kind of American folklore, there's been this kind of overarching story of these weird creatures that are kind of fused into one, like two creatures that are fused into one, to the point where Andrew Jackson, who was a president of the United States, was one of these things, apparently. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go watch the videos for yourself, okay? I will link the creator down below with the playlist there. Go watch it for yourself. I could try and explain, this is the problem with Manticore's videos, I could try and explain it to you, and you're probably going to be dumber from me explaining it to you, because it's just so absurd, basically. And not in a bad way. I don't mean that in a bad way. Like, it's not going to make you dumb because it's stupid. I mean, because it's just hard for me to explain. You're going to think, okay, I need to watch this for myself because I have no idea what you're talking about, which I highly recommend. So in one of the last videos we watched, it horrified Abe Lincoln. We saw Abe could somehow manifest and go astral project out of his body and just become this floating head that would terrorize the opposition, I guess. And the whole reason he could do that apparently was through music. And so I made the joke that you're there in battle and you hear freaking Fetty Wap coming through a JBL speaker and it's just freaking Abe Lincoln's head coming at you. It's silly. I don't know, like, it's so absurd that it's almost funny. Terrifying, but funny. So we're going to watch two more videos here. We've got The Thing That Drafted Men and It Disfigured Thomas Jefferson. And it seems they're working on like another thing in between this. This was actually recommended to me by Hoplite on my Discord, so thank you for the submission. I do appreciate it. Historian's notes. In 1777, President Jefferson regarded the draft as the last of all oppressions. Now, I'm guessing when they say President Jefferson, it means that they're just referring to that he was a president, because he wasn't president in 1777, right? In 1777, the president of the Continental Congress, the governing body of the American colonies during the Revolutionary War, was John Hancock. So the first official president of the United States was in 1789, which was obviously George Washington. So this was the president of the Continental Congress, which was the colonies, which is weird because 1776 was when America became independent, but I guess there wasn't a recognized country, maybe? I don't know why there wasn't just a normal president. Maybe someone can tell me. Who knows? I'm learning as I go. President Jefferson regarded the draft as the last of all oppressions, the thing that drafted men. So also, like, before we begin, guys, if you look through the playlist here of alternate American folklore, you'll see that it tells a story in itself. So the thing that Columbus brought, it followed Lewis and Clark. What the Pilgrims buried, it crossed the land bridge. What the Seminoles fought, it horrified Abe Lincoln. And in this one, the thing that drafted men, it disfigured Thomas Jefferson. So it's like mini stories. Every two episodes is like a mini story, but it's like an overarching story of whatever the heck these things are, basically. So let's get into this.
14. September 14,
001.
It was a frightening game of cosmic bingo.
What the hell? Cosmic bingo?
Today, though now in a state of uncertain hibernation.
You know who this guy sounds like? Freaking, you know, House of Cards, the president, or whatever, the main character, right? He has that assistant. And that assistant's been in other films as well, but I can't remember them just yet. But he sounds like that guy. I forgot what his name is.
During the American Civil War, various methods of conscription were tested for utmost randomness.
Conscription.
And while the lottery involving balls and wheels became most popular in the 20th century,
what a horrible way to find out.
The drawing of sticks was seriously considered by 19th century Americans.
Damn. That's what they did for Vietnam as well.
Were constructed to facilitate the process back then. These paper people exist today.
Okay, paper people. So this is a callback to Lewis and Clark, I believe. Where, was it York? Was that his name? Okay, so Clark assigns a guy called York to the team, right? And then everyone loves York. And then to the point where the president loves York. And I guess the writing of letters to York manifested this actual creature called Paper York. Yeah, so I think Caliph here has a good take. I think that Paper York is a creature that is depicting the difference between York the person and the York that existed in the letters and history books. The York on paper that wasn't necessarily true to the man, but here the person he was on paper is taking over his life. I believe York goes home, like actual York goes home, because people are just like, they've replaced him basically with Paper York. They prefer Paper York. And in York, the actual York goes home, and then he goes home, and I believe his wife is made of paper. He has a paper wife. It's just odd. It's honestly strange. Anyway, let's carry on.
State of uncertain hibernation.
February 14th.
So I believe the what's happening in the background here is they're calling out birthdays, and if you were born on that day and that month or whatever, you were drafted into the war basically.
Pursuant to the executive order, the Director Selective Service is going to establish tonight
A human will be sentencing you. We will call it random, but it is your fate.
sequence
Numbers will determine your life's
for
outcome.
1970.
You must accept now.
Because of the CBS News special report which follows, Mayberry RFD will not be presented tonight, but will return next week at its regularly scheduled time over most of these stations. The Draft Lottery, a live report on tonight's picking of the birthdays for the draft. And here's the
Okay.
with some new ways to say Merry Christmas. Give the Norella
Ordered for induction.
or in a rechargeable model. Give the inexpensive
December 25th.
or the new battery cordless. Norella
Wait, what did I say?
header with a cord
For Andrew /Jackson, I think that was South Florida.
rechargeable model.
December 25th, 1969
Flip top 20 or the new
at 7 a.m. Thank you.
Even our name says Merry Christmas.
Oh my god. Is that a paper president? What the heck's going on? Ew. President Lyndon B. Johnson. Okay. Alright, so that was Vietnam, right? X. What does that mean?
These are the same skies that the dead last saw.
Ugh, that voice. That's been a line that's been reoccurring, I believe, through the series. Alternate American folklore will continue. Okay, so this is going right up to Vietnam currently. So Lyndon B. Johnson was a paper president. Is that what they were trying to say? Let's have a look. The whole like idea of being drafted into a war has been personified through like turned into a horror in itself. You know what I mean? Imagine being called up to war. Wow, imagine waking up and waiting for your date of birth or your year and your day to be called out. I imagine that feeling is so horrifying and so like hopeless. And it's almost like that's been personified as this freaking beast, this whatever the heck that thing was, Lyndon B. Johnson apparently, which is interesting because yeah, it takes the fear and turns it into something that is actually scary. Like the person that's sending you there is literally like some kind of demon creature. Okay, so this one's called It Disfigured Thomas Jefferson. So historian's note, corn. There we go. Beautiful stuff. So this is Lewis. That's a screenshot of the last. I think it was the Lewis and Clark video, and this is York. I think. Ayanna was taken by Lewis, unless that was Lewis, Clark, and President Jefferson. It was a cruel jest played on her husband York. Oh, okay. Yeah, because York went back. That's what I was talking about. York went back home. York narrowly avoided his own paper replica. It escaped before local authorities arrived. York has since been paralyzed by shame and regret. He sleeps the days away and dreams of Ayanna, his wife, I'm guessing. He's locked in dreams for decades. For decades? Jeez, he's dreaming for decades. He is locked in dreams for decades. 4 decades. Oh my goodness. 40 years went past of people drifting in and out of his life. York encounters many brave Americans over his lifetime. Mothers, fathers, farmers, firemen, freedmen, they each inspire him to do more than dream. So is he actually dreaming? On the 40th anniversary of her disappearance, York finds the strength to seek out the 4 responsible. The 4 responsible? Lewis, Clark, Jefferson, and I'm guessing Paper York. Where is Ayanna? York cross-references records of various references the records of various libraries. He determines the status of each individual. Lewis. Dead. Tennessee. Unknown cause. Clark. Dead. Missouri. Unknown cause. Oh my goodness. Jefferson. Alive. Florida. Disfigured. Paper York. Alive. Florida. Worshipped. Okay, so the Florida was where like the Seminoles were. That's what the whole video was about. And they were fighting, what was it called, Minute Fauna or something like that. The army who was opposing the Seminoles literally used animals in military warfare against the Seminoles. It's a crazy story. York borrows a friend's horse and journeys to Florida. During the nights, he imagines possible futures and pasts. So abstract, man. York has a nightmare about Paper York. Imagine having a nightmare about a paper version of yourself. He dreams of a decapitated head guiding him through a dark museum. Is that freaking Abe Lincoln? The head stops at a painting on the wall titled King York of America. King York? York wakes with renewed vigor. Paper York must be stopped. Jeez, saying that word, guys. Jesus Christ. Listen. I definitely said V-I-G-O-R. Okay. I think that's how it's pronounced, though. Let's say Viger. Good lord. Okay. So he woke up. And he was dreaming about the future of America. And King Paper York was apparently the king, obviously, of America. So Americans have a royal family now. Fire exit. Do not block. So this means that Abraham Lincoln... When was Lewis and Clark? It was before Lincoln, right? A sec. Let me double check. 1804 to 1806. That's the Lewis and Clark expedition. Okay, so it was before Lincoln. A century later, Mays Machines acquires the rights to all photographs of Paper York. Maze Machines? Is that going back to frickin'... Oh, never mind. Is this like tying into the Monument mythos? In 2025, Maze declassifies the first photograph of Paper York, 1934. Jeez. Oh wow. No fucking way. Hang on a sec. There ain't no way. Oh, are we going off of the whole, like... Is that meant to be the tree? One of the... I forgot what they're called. Wonderland trees? From Monument Mythos? Mays claims that Paper York and all related incidents are part of a fictionalized history. Fictionalized history, then why show that picture and say that it's freaking... They have yet to elaborate. Oh my god, it is. This is a direct link to the Monument mythos. Oh my god, the world just got a lot bigger. Guys, the thing is, how do I explain this for people who don't know? This was called... What was this called? The Wonder Tree? There was a girl called Virginia, right? basically the whole story with this tree is, if I can remember correctly, Rockefeller, who was a president, I believe, President Rockefeller in this timeline, he ordered for there to be a new Christmas tree put up in was it in New York or something like that? I forgot where it was. And they decided to try and cut down this one. But this tree is like a special magical tree, which we now know to be King Paper York. And this tree has properties that transfer you into another dimension, basically. You go into a dimension filled with loads of these other trees in which it feels like you're there for ages. So there was these orphans who tried putting a star, I think they were orphans, I can't remember. They tried putting a star on top of this tree to, make it all Christmassy, but they all got zapped by lightning, I believe. And they were all transferred. Some of them were like just scorched straight away. But like Virginia, I believe, was a survivor, but she like lived this whole life inside of this dimension with the trees. And she met a person and she grew up with him and she had like a kid with this guy or something like that. I can't remember. But then these trees basically were the monuments of America, like the Statue of Liberty. What's the one in the freaking in Washington called with the big tall column? I think that was one as well. The fact that Manticore is now linking Monument Mythos, which is one of the first like proper series I watched on my channel of like an analog horror, by the way, so that takes me back. This is good to see again. I would love to do like a big like watch through again of the Monument Mythos, just one big watch party. If you guys want to see that, let me know, because I would love to go in to that again with a renewed kind of outlook on what this tree is. This just, I wasn't expecting it to be linked back to Monument Mythos. And Monument Mythos, by the way, was a head fuck. I'm just gonna say it. It was a head fuck. A straight up head fuck, and I was completely always kind of guessing like what is actually going on here. What is happening? There's like you got what's his name? James Dean. Everything connects here. I think the Corner People connects to the Monument Mythos. All the series that Manticore's been working on are obviously tied together in the same universe, which is so freaking cool to see. And I think I need to go back and watch from start to finish the Monument Mythos. That would be one hell of a watch. That would be like 3 hours or something like that, but I would happily do that if you guys would like to see that again. Just for new people who maybe not have seen the Monument Mythos, I highly recommend you go watch it for yourself anyway, because it's a fantastic series. But yeah, it's good to see this all come in full circle together. And there we go, guys. That has been Manticore. Be sure to check them out in the description down below. Also, be sure to check out the playlist that I'll link down there as well. Watch the videos for yourself. Leave a like, rate, and subscribe. All that good stuff. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care, guys.